So, welcome to our debrief of ITB, marketing debrief, I should say. If you're after product innovation, this is probably not the place to go. But the marketing team is coming together to talk about what we liked and didn't like at ITB. 1 week in, first question, have we recovered? Have we slept?
Get there.
Takes a while. It certainly takes a toll. It does take a toll, that 1 week. Okay, so just gonna ask a few fire question. What do you call it?
Yeah,
fire round question. Goodness me, can't speak. What was your favorite stand at ITB? And we're only looking at travel tech. We're not looking at sort of like the destination bit. Who wants to start?
So, well, I liked Airbnb. That always stands out to me.
Yeah.
Just I think because of the relaxed vibe I got from it when I was walking by, and I also liked that they created a real space, but in a quite cozy area. It wasn't too elaborate, but it was had a cozy vibe when I walked through, and had the little booths, so it meant that you could have that privacy as well when you wanted to get into a more in-depth conversation. Or you could invite someone for lunch, and so you had that space within your stand to be able to do that. So I like the options that it provided.
Yeah. But what about if you didn't have £1 million to spend on your stand, like a normal, what about a stand for like a normal budget, standard company budget?
You know what? I loved Adian's, that's a smaller budget, Adian's stand, because I do like the barista element. That's because I'm a coffee fan. Yeah. I think we need to drip feed a proper barista coffee while you're having so many conversations. I think that kind of just feeds everyone.
And the guy was so nice. He was so friendly, that barista. He was just like, whatever. Some people were not as generous, let's just put it that way.
And and we swapped our beautiful Swifty style bracelets for good quality coffee, so they were happy.
I know, good swag trade. Jamie, what about you?
I really liked Sendine's stand in the Travel Tech Hall. I thought it was very, very clean. Big fan of wood paneling anyway, but the layout was very inviting, very warm, great use of the space, very open. Yeah, just absolutely thought it was a fantastic stand. Definitely a little bit of stand envy, but no, it was a very.
We may or may not get inspiration from it for future events. Time will tell. What about you?
I really, really liked the flex keeping stand.
The toilet. Yeah.
The toilet stand.
Yeah, the toilet stand.
I think it was very audacious, but like in a good way, very bold, very simple at the same time. And I think because it's so crowded in those halls, you've got so many good stands, and every year they get better. Having something a bit different, a bit fun, just made brighten the day. Makes everyone laugh when we walk by. So
but it did tie in with it does tie in with their product, with their brand. Like it wasn't a random just let's plonk a toilet just to get people talking. It had ties. So I think that was really smart. I agree. Agreed. Definitely, I would agree with the Sendine choice. It's also, I'm a very classic person, so I think to me it was like, oh, this feels very lovely. There were some really good stands overall. I think I guess that's the learning. Some really outstanding creations. So that was great. What about your favorite swag? So I've got the RMS swag, which could be voted as the best swag. I mean, could argue, but what did you think?
Well, I love Aesop, so I'm a sucker for a stripes swag, and I've been enjoying the scents from my hand wash. But I did love ours. I can't deny it. Our Swifty style bracelets were the best in my eyes.
Do you like the Aesop? I think Australian brand, RMS Australian brand, and maybe there's something we should own. Stripe is not Australian, right? I don't know. I should know this, but I don't think they are. but maybe we have to lean into our Australian heritage there, like piggyback on the good Australian brands. What about you, Jamie Maud? What do you think?
I really like the swag that we got at SiteMinder's Emergent Party, where they launched their the Rubik's Cube that I'll never be able to solve. Did you ever
No,
solve
same.
it?
Me too. Been stuck on this all weekend.
Yeah, I think I mixed yours up, Jamie. I was like, yeah, there you go.
You did actually. Yeah, you've made it harder for me now.
Yeah, fine. My kid's been at it all weekend, but like we're literally getting nowhere. But it's a good one.
It was a really good one, and the room mist spray kind of on the kind of scent side, similar to the Aesop one. I've been using that a fair bit since getting back. But no, I thought that was a really good. But what really stood out to me from that swag bag, and I've actually found it incredibly useful over the days there, was the rehydration tablets that they put in.
So
Oh yeah, smart.
Which were
literally on my desk.
I thought that was a great idea, and very, very useful, practical swag.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I've got to go with the bracelets. I think they were great, and everyone loved it. If not for themselves, for their Swifties in their families.
Yeah.
So that was cute. People wanted to bring back swag for their loved ones.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to do a shout out to My Trip though, because I feel like the My Trip iridescent bags, I just saw them everywhere. Was it Hey Trip? Sorry.
Hey Trip. Like the shiny bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were cool.
They were cool. They were noticeable. I don't know. Yeah. Very, very loud, I suppose. You're right, they were good. Hey Trip, I think it was, yeah. What about your favorite party? I mean, bear in mind, we went to the SiteMinder, beautiful announcement in their swimming pool cathedral, and the room price genie, our friends, and then the cloud beds. So what did you think?
I only went to the room price genie one, and
so that's your favorite.
That's my favorite. Decided for me. But I think they're an exceptional team. Room price genies are very lovely, very welcoming, and they always nail it at parties. And I think it was a good time to get together. Like the whole RMS team was there. We could meet other teams as well, which was very nice. So yeah, I think they're the perfect place to create the friendly, memorable moments. And I think we've got a nice photo of the team as well.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
There we go.
Good memories.
We're all looking in completely different directions. We nailed it.
That only took 50 attempts as well, so there's literally no excuse. But there we go. Anyone else for the favorite party?
I think there's different elements that I liked from the two bigger parties that I went to. I think the room price genie, they had some really fun elements that nice takeaways that you could as an experience, and I like that, especially because we're in the hospitality industry and it's all about that experience. But again, for the same reason, I did love the space that Cloudbeds went with. It was really interesting. It created an interesting vibe. Obviously, both were very techno, loud music, but yeah, I suppose it was less kind of intimate, but you were still having an experience with the Cloudbeds, party, and you were going through different rooms, and so yeah, I found that was really interesting. So I'm glad that I went to both. Yeah.
Amy?
I think the room price GD one was great fun. I think the SiteMinder one and the Ideas one does deserve a shout out just as well, because the venue and actually hosting it at a hotel. So I think it was a customer of theirs as well, the Hotel Odenberger. It was stunning. I mean, that swimming pool, the stage actually over the swimming pool. Very surprised nobody fell in, but might have happened after we'd left. You never know. But yeah, it was an exceptional venue and really well organized, and it was quite nice to be able to go around and sort of mingle and talk to people in quite an intimate setting as well, as alongside the quite heavy techno party side in Berlin, but when in Berlin,
Yeah. comes with the territory. I will say that everyone was super welcoming. Like if you think that, frankly, Room Price Genie, we're partnering, Cloudbeds definitely more on the competition front. It's like Minder halfway. But everyone was like, come in, it's totally fine. It's like, it's for everyone. I've never really been in an industry where you are buying drinks to your competitors, frankly. This has not happened. Usually it's like, oh, they are on this guest list, like, hell no, well, they're not coming in. Whereas here, people were like, yes, of course. So I thought that was fantastic. And yeah, they are clearly putting a lot of effort, a lot of budget, but definitely a lot of thoughts gone into all of these parties. The Cloudbed venue was just amazing, outstanding. There must have been half of ITB in there at some point. And apparently we left early, but apparently it got even busier at 1 a.m. So I don't know what people were doing before, but
yeah, it got crowded when we left.
I know. It was just, I mean, the DJs they had, I mean, it was, oh my God, it was so good. People loved it. That was amazing. What about the one thing that we feel could be improved, or not necessarily stand-wise or anything, but just anything that, you know, kind of was a bit of a downer on the whole ITB week? I can start by saying I think the ITB app and the ITB website is a bit of a hard one to navigate. No offense, but that needs a revamp big time.
Yeah, for like, especially for
100%.
the speaker elements, when you're trying to like navigate where you want to get to. It would also be cool, like if in the app, when you've added something to a favorite, to also have the option to add a reminder, so that because you get so busy that when you're on the stand, that you can quite easily miss the opportunity to go to a really good speaker event. I thought also within the speaker events, I would have loved to have seen more Q&A opportunities, and maybe that's because I only went to a handful of speaker events because obviously we were busy on the stand, but I feel like for the ones that I went and attended, there was no opportunity to open it up to the floor. And obviously they've got a tight schedule, but I feel like having even Q&A sessions that are dedicated for that space would have been really interesting, because you want to hear not only from the experts, but you also want to hear from the people that are in the room with you, and you want to hear their personal experience. What are they wanting to know? What are they wanting to find? What's the reason for them being at ITB? And I think that can help also inform everything moving forward, and your key takeaways that you take home with you. So I would like to see more of that.
Yeah. What, Jamie? What do you think?
I would probably say, I mean, Messe Berlin is an incredible venue, but the scale of it is insane. So to me, it's quite a boring choice, but probably like signposting and actually making people aware of what is in certain halls, and and kind of, there's an awful lot going on. There's destinations, there's countries, there's travel tech, there's all sorts going on, but there's a lot of spaces that people maybe aren't aware of, because again, going back to your point as well about the app, it's like, people being able to find their way around, because you do need to plan, because there's, even if you're there for the 3 days, you're not going to have a chance to walk around everything just because of the sheer size of it. So I think better signposting and more encouragement announcements, kind of pushing people into different halls, letting them know things are actually happening in different bits as well, I think would be really beneficial, both for the attendees but also for us as vendors and exhibitors.
True.
And that's exactly what I was about to say, Jamie. My sense of direction is terrible, so it adds up to the difficulty of like finding my way. And every time I was leaving our hall, I was a bit worried that I couldn't get back because I would get just lost. And like there is 2 levels. I think there is 27 halls total, like in different buildings. So like having, like you're saying, Jamie, a better signage, maybe like people like hosts in different halls that can advise you on what you're having a bit more help on that front.
Highlight of the week, and are we going there again next year? Yes, of course we are.
Yes.
Yes, of course we are. Anything that you
highlight.
particularly loved?
Do you know, it was my first ITB event, and I know this is probably more generic, but I just really took away and really enjoyed meeting new faces, meeting partners, connecting with people, connecting with other vendors, and just that vibe of collaboration. It was a really nice takeaway as we look ahead of the work that we're doing and all the partnerships that we have,
Yep.
strengthening those even further. But yeah, so it was a really nice focusing on and lensing on the people that were there and how we connected. I thought that was just, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I think the connection side is the big thing, I think, for me, particularly with ITB. I mean, hospitality is all about people, right? Anyway, so actually being able to connect with everybody and bring people together like that, it truly, it has to be commended for that alone. But the one thing that really stood out for me and was kind of a big takeaway was seeing more discussions both at ITB and some of the fringe events around that we went to, was sustainability actually being talked about a lot more, but not just in the sense of, recycling and, minimizing food waste, but there was more being talked about making industry sustainable through people and actually positioning hospitality as a great career option for people and making hospitality a sustainable industry in that it's going to continue, not just focusing on the, headline sustainability element, which we've all been coming across over the last number of years. So I thought that was a great highlight, and actually looking holistically about how we can keep this industry moving forward, which is what we're all here to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Maud?
Yeah, I think going back to your point, Sandrine, earlier on, when you talked about the fact that like competitors are friends, and I think during those shows it's even more like highlighted. Rita from CEO of Raise Up, she did her little recap on LinkedIn about her takeaways, and I think she said the word co-petition, so like cooperating with the competition, which I think is like, yeah, it's like, so it feels so much like that, and it's just nice to be there and not feel like, looking at people and like that on the corner, and feeling like competition is enemies. I think it's a smart way to work for an industry, to not duplicate the efforts, to always think about the end user, the customer, and what's the best solution for them, and yeah, work with integration partners and just be like on the advice side more than the sales. So yeah, I think that was what was cool about ITB, the collaborations.
I like that. Agree with all of that. That was really good. So we're ready for it again next year. We'll shall book our stand, and we will probably won't have the same jumpers, obviously, but we'll be there in RMS branded gear and maybe with some more bracelets. Who knows? Or some other things we'll come up with. But thank you all for your time. Thank you for everyone watching. Stay tuned for maybe more of this marketing debrief. We'll see where that takes us. Speak soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.